Now, this is a very interesting hot topic. Debate continues this morning over Tony Abbott's very controversial decision to recommend the appointment of Prince Philip as a Knight of the Order of Australia. While the Prime Minister has admitted he did not consult his colleagues on the announcement, the Twitter sphere has exploded with many angry about the decision. Take a look. These are some from Scott. Memo Abbott, it's Australia Day today, not April Fool's Day. Also from Deb, it's kind of like someone giving Richard Branson's wife their frequent flyer miles. That's brilliant. And finally from Hugh, I'm starting to wonder if Tony Abbott is actually just one of the chaser boys waiting for us to realise. Now, Prince Philip joined 3 other knights or dames elevated since the Australian honours were reinstated last year. Kathy, this is an example. Many people are actually saying this is a pretty serious misjudgment by the Prime Minister and shows he's more out of touch than ever.
Totally out of touch. And, you know, I live most of the year in Britain and they will be laughing hysterically at this. I mean, they have a condescension chromosome, the British. They see Australia as a recessive gene, the Irish of the Pacific. They think our record collections are, you know, criminal, not classical. They think our main topic of conversation is how long we have to go on our parole. And this just reinforces the idea that we're subservient, that we're sycophantic. I mean, it is such a PR blunder and such a major international embarrassment.
So they'll be laughing at Australia?
Laughing hysterically. It's time we had more proof. It's time we had an Abbott-ectomy, people. It's time.
Well, that's what a lot of people are now saying. I mean, his backbenchers have come out and said, what was he thinking? He hasn't consulted with anybody, even Conservative commentators who have been waving the Prime Minister's flag for a long, long time are now coming out and publicly saying this is not a smart, good idea. And also, too, 10 months ago when he said, I'm going to reintroduce dames and knighthoods, it will be to recognise Australians and Australians' contribution, not Prince Philip, who, dare I say, let's face it, has a history of being racist and sexist. And what has he ever done for Australia?
I know. I just can't wait to see what Prince Andrew gets. But it is...
But what do you think, though, Joe? Like, from a political perspective, what is going on?
Well, I mean, to put it in context, right, so at the end of last year, Tony Abbott said, look, we've had a bit of an annus horribilis, to use the Queen's own phrase, and which he's familiar with, clearly. And he said, well, we'll hit the reset button. Since then, he's come out, he's stuffed up the Medicare co-payment even more than it already was, which is quite a bit, by ignoring his colleagues' advice not to go ahead with it. He's then managed to start this debate about work choices and had a Productivity Commission report accidentally get posted to the website, so the government completely lost control of that. And then he has now appointed Prince Philip. On the Knights and Dames, I don't really mind that. At least, you know, you can rhyme it in a song. But to give an award to Prince Philip, I mean, don't get me wrong, I think it's great. He's the voice of youth. But everyone is just going, what the... And I think it's a jump the shark moment. And to be honest, I think a lot of his colleagues and his strongest supporters included plenty of Middle Australia. And I don't care what the Poms think, but, you know, Australia is just laughing its arse off, quite frankly.
The only Dame we want is Dame Edna. That's the only
I think a lot of people would have lost... I think a lot of people very close to him would have lost confidence in his judgment.
Do you think the days are numbered for it?
Might be now. This is just an incredibly it's like a sort of crazy call. You think Kim Beazley lost the Labor leadership when he accidentally referred to Karl Rove instead of Rove McManus. You compare that to giving a bloody knighthood to some guy who's already a prince. I mean, it's like saying, hey, Margaret Thatcher, would you also like to be the tea lady? You know?
I agree with everything you said except some guy. I reckon we know who he is.
Let's look at some feedback from our lovely viewers on this hot topic this morning from Nan. Did Bob Hawke lose credibility when he gave Prince Philip the highest honour in Australia? No. So why so now? Simply because it's Tony Abbott. Give us a break. What? Another one, I'm not sure about
Bob Hawke also introduced the Australian honours, which has now gone back, so I think it's slightly different. But anyway.
OK, sure. Some more feedback I think we've got from Anne. Gee, just imagine behind closed doors how the royal family must be laughing. I'm a royalist, but is Mr Abbott for real? This is the funniest thing I have heard. And the Queen accepted his recommendation for her husband.
Of course she did. As if she's going to say, oh, I don't think so.
Prince Philip's been a naughty boy.
There's someone at the front door.
Quite frankly, he hasn't done the washing up for 50 years.
Say that, yes.
She's not going to reject it.